How are you, gentlemen? SPG Active Aussie here on this Sunday night. I want to talk about this term white male privilege or male privilege in general that is thrown around way too loosely nowadays. I know a few other people have spoken about this before, but I'll put my own 50 cents worth in. I'd like to know how average Western men are privileged. For example, most people who commit suicide are men. I personally know several men between the ages of 28 and 55 who have committed suicide, and they were certainly not privileged. They were average looking, average income men, and they certainly have zero privilege now. They're dead. So that's just one example. And I know that many African and Asian guys have committed suicide too, so that's not to lessen that tragedy for them. Another example is that the majority of people who are in prison are men. Most people who are homeless are men. The majority of people who die in wars are men. And I wouldn't blame Russian and Ukrainian soldiers for deserting, because it's about time men stopped dying for women and politicians. I suppose if they had joined the armed forces voluntarily, that's a different story. But if they were conscripted, I wouldn't blame them for running away. Men can have allegations made against them, against us, with no tangible evidence whatsoever, and we can be hauled before a court. There are many, many ways in which average men do not have any privilege. And I think several years ago, Jordan Peterson was interviewed in regard to this on British TV by a woman, and he just tore her to shreds. She had no credibility left by the end of the interview, because this idea of male privilege can be very easily disproven. And women will say that men are controlling most of the wealth, most of the resources, or capital, if you want to call it that. But that's only a very small percentage of men. Some average men are successful. Maybe they just worked hard, they had discipline, they had perseverance, they saved up their money. That's got nothing to do with privilege. Some people just work hard, they have discipline, and they make something out of their life in a business sense. And I guess some women can do that also. But I just get sick and tired of hearing about how privileged the white male is, or males in general. And that goes for men in Asia too. If you're in Shanghai, Hong Kong, Seoul, Taipei, wherever, or men in places like Berlin, Paris, Europe, Africa, some parts of the Middle East. There are many average men who are just trying to get by the best they can and who are struggling. There's no privilege involved. It's just a myth. And men must really get frustrated hearing this term just thrown around so loosely. It is really just a myth. That's all I really wanted to say. I'm just here, not that far from my house, but I'm in a different suburb tonight, and it's a bit cooler now, so I thought I'd just come out and make a video. I'm going to be a bit busy this week up till about Wednesday night. My mother's going in for surgery, so I'm just hanging around the local area at the moment, so I'll be making a few more videos within the next day or so as well. So look out for that, and I'll talk to you later. Cheers.